Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today, we're talking about the 5th book in the Prophecies Begins, A Dangerous Path. Let's just get right into it. So, the prologue. Prologue, immediately we get introduced to the pack leader. The pack leader is, of course, a dog, if you couldn't tell. This is where we get our first introduction to dogs. This is also the first time in the entire Warrior Cat series where we get the perspective of a different animal. This has never happened before, and it hasn't really happened since. So it's interesting to see the thought process that the books portray the dogs as having. It's very one-worded. It's very barbaric, archaic. It's very simple, and which is interesting because obviously years later they made the Survivor series, in which the dogs obviously do not speak like this book. So it's selective. Then it was many years ago, and this could just be the way that the cats would understand it, even though there's no cats in the prologue. But I don't know. I think it's an interesting intro. Obviously, throughout the entire series, we know that dogs are a threat. I mean, it's dogs versus cats. Obviously, we know that's an issue. And to have these dogs escape into the forest, and they smell cats, you kind of know what the big threat of this book will be. Which is interesting, because you'll think, wait, why are the dogs going to be the big threat? I thought Tigerstar was the big threat. What's going to happen? Who knows? So, they make a den in Snake Rocks, and they say, okay, let's kill some cats. Which, pretty interesting start, but not as interesting as Chapter 1, which starts immediately after Book 4, when Tigerclaw is introduced as ShadowClan's new leader, now known as Tigerstar. The other clans are kind of confused. Here's the weird thing about this. They don't question it for a moment, because they know that Tigerstar, they know Tigerstar used to be the deputy of ThunderClan, and they didn't really know what happened. Bluestar never said what happened, which, kind of fair. I get why she did that. But it's really weird that they kind of just accept him as the new leader of ShadowClan. This isn't a normal thing. Especially with the prequel books, we know for a fact, switching clans like this is a very irregular thing. It does not happen. So the fact that they accept it so, immediately, is just bizarre. It's so bizarre. And, it obviously puts a damper in Fireheart's plan, because if you remember from the last book, Fireheart was going to reveal Tigerstar's past at this gathering, but obviously he can't do that now because, he doesn't really know how the clans are going to take it. After the gathering, he talks to Mistyfoot a bit, says, how's it going? And there's a bit of foreshadowing about Bluestar's secret getting revealed, indicated that, something's going to happen. So ThunderClan returns home, and they tell everyone, and everyone is kind of shocked, you would be. I mean, your long-dead deputy, who, the last time you saw him, the only other time we saw him in Book 4, was killing a character. He killed Running Wind. So, yeah, that's not gonna go over well. Fireheart talks to Cinderpelt and prepares to tell Bluestar, prepping himself, psyching himself out, because the moment he tells Bluestar this, it's gonna be insane, and she's gonna lose it. She does lose it. She doesn't take it very well when Fireheart does tell her. Yeah, she really loses it. But yeah, so the clans try to, deal with that. Deal with that revelation. Deal with that issue that might come up at some point. And show a patrol during all this, because they increase patrols. They find a dog scent and droppings, but Fireheart kind of has bigger issues at the moment, so he doesn't really acknowledge it at the moment. So ThunderClan, hunts. They kind of prep themselves for this. They're waiting to see what happens, because they know something's going to happen. They don't know what yet. During this, Fireheart speaks to Graystripe, and Graystripe says, hey, Sandstorm? You're in love with her. And Fireheart's like, what? How did you tell? How did you know? Yeah. So during all this, Cinderpelt goes to Moonstone for Half Moon, and says that she received a prophecy about an unseen enemy that wants to kill. What could that mean? And then we get to the fun part of the book. I say fun part, but it's not. In my notes, I literally have Snowkit introduction. You already know where this is going. So, Snowkit. Snowkit is the son of Frostfur, I believe? Yeah? Yeah. She's the single son of Frostfur, right? Hold on, let me check my notes. Oh no, it's Speckletail. Speckletail is his mother. Yeah. So, Snowkit is introduced. He's kind of a weird cat. People don't really know what his deal is. And, you know, it's not... It's a little foreshadowing. We'll get to it later. Then Goldenflower says, "Hey, Fireheart, you need to tell Bramblekit and Tawnykit about their father. They need to know." And he's like, "Fine, I'll do it at some point." He does it at some point. We'll get there. Brackenfur also notices something wrong with Snowkit. So Brackenfur kind of wants Snowkit as an apprentice. Like, he wants an apprentice. He's at that age. And he notices that something's off about this cat. And then Fireheart says, "Okay, I'll look into it." So Fireheart decides, okay, Tigerstar is a threat. We need more warriors. He goes to Bluestar and says, "Hey, make all these apprentices warriors. Like, we have so many apprentices." Bluestar is very lucid. She doesn't trust the other apprentices' mentors, aside from Fireheart, saying that she says Cloudpaw could be a mentor. But then Fireheart's like, no, we should wait until they all become mentors. Here's the weird thing about this all. Whitestorm is one of the mentors of the apprentices. He's Brightpaw's mentor. He's also Bluestar's nephew, which is odd. I know in this book series, they never say that he's her nephew. It's just weird in retrospect that she doesn't trust him, especially since he looked after her so much, which is probably the reason that they even made him her nephew. I don't know. It's interesting reading in retrospect when you have alternate media telling you what stuff is. So yeah. So after all that, Cinderpelt agrees to look at Snowkit, kind of figure out what the deal is. Then we also find out Little Cloud is now a Shadow Clan medicine apprentice. Like, she says, like, "Hey, Little Cloud's fine," which is nice. He wanted to become a medicine cat in the last book. I don't think I mentioned it, but that is something he was wanting to do. So then Fireheart has an obligatory Spotted Leaf dream. However, in the Spotted Leaf dream, she's missing. She's like almost there, but not there, and it's kind of weird. So then Princess finds Fireheart and is worried about him, saying, "Hey, are you and Cloudpaw okay? I saw the fire. Everything good?" Yeah. She also then says that the two legs are making their way through the forest, searching for something. They don't really know what the something is, because it's two legs, they don't really understand them. But yeah, so it's a bit odd. But, you know. So then Graystripe finds Fireheart and says, "Hey, Tigerstar was visiting River Clan for some reason," and that's kind of odd. We also find out that Crookedstar, who is Silverstream's father, is on his very last life, and River Clan's a bit uneasy about this. We also find out that Tigerstar spoke with Leopardfur for a very long time, and, you know, Graystripe's a bit kind of sussed out about that. Like, Leopardfur already doesn't like Graystripe. She just doesn't like him, because she's a bitch. And, you know, it's kind of off-putting, you know? Then Mistyfoot shows up panicked. She's like, "Oh my gosh, Greypool, my mother, is missing," and they freak out. So Fireheart agrees to help search, and he finds Greypool talking with Tigerstar. Now Greypool at this point is old. She kind of isn't thinking clearly. Like, she thinks Tigerstar is Oakheart, which, that's kind of fair. I mean, if she's losing her sight, I mean, they do kind of have similar pelt colors. That makes sense. And in her confusion, she reveals to Tigerstar that she took the ThunderClan kids. Like, she took care of them, she raised them, it's all good. She doesn't reveal who they are, but it wouldn't take a genius to figure it out. Now, Tigerstar is obviously kind of confused, but he's like, "Wait, what are you talking about, old lady?" But then, after all this happens, Greypool says, "Oh, shoot, you're not Oakheart," and then she falls backwards and dies from the fall under a bridge. And Tigerstar kind of just leaves. Fireheart lies about Tigerstar's involvement, and River Clan takes the body away. The reason he lies is because it's just kind of a weird situation. Like, even if he told them that Tigerstar was there, would they believe him? I don't know. Probably not. So I do think this was the correct decision on his part. But yeah, so Tigerstar now knows about ThunderClan Kit. He doesn't know who they are, but he can just merely ask Leopardfur, saying, "Hey, who was Greypool's kits?" and then figure out from there. So then we also find out that Snowkit is deaf. Snowkit is tested by Cinderpelt, and she says, "I'm sorry, he's deaf." Bluestar comes in and says he can never be a warrior because he's deaf, and this is her in a much better mental state. Like, she's much more like her old self. Like, she's stern, but she's kind, and it's a very nice scene. So this is kind of an interesting segue. So I'm not going to do a video about Snowkit's deafness. I thought about it, but I'm like, nah, other people have done this. You go watch the Moon Kitty video. But in regards to her statement that Snowkit cannot be a warrior. Now, obviously, this is kind of brought the conversation with ableism. And I'm not going to get too much into it, but Warrior Cats is kind of a weird series when it comes to realism, and realistically, having a blind cat, I mean, not blind, obviously we have blind cats, a deaf cat, it'd be difficult. And I'm not saying warriors did the correct thing here, which we'll talk about later, but I definitely think that they were in an interesting position. And obviously that's a question of why they did Snowkit the way they did it. That is, again, good question. I don't have the answer. But obviously in the community, the Warrior Cats community, there has been people that came up with multiple different versions of kitty sign language. But obviously I don't know if the Warriors team even considered that. I don't think it was ableist in intention. I think they were merely trying to show the harsh realities of Warrior Cats. Like, the harshness of the forest life will take anybody, from the oldest of elders to the youngest of kits. And this was the way they could have done it. Could it have worked without him being deaf? Probably. Definitely. He didn't have to be. But interestingly, there's never been another deaf character in Warrior Cats. We've had cats that are hard of hearing, like elders, but never a specifically deaf character, unless I'm mistaken, which I probably am, but, you know, based on my research, there's no one else. But overall, it's weird. I don't agree with the direction they went with it, but I agree with the idea of it. But like I said, it doesn't matter whether or not Snowkit was deaf or not. If he wasn't deaf, I think the intention of what they were trying to do would have still worked. Is that a cat could die in the forest. This is harsh life, and kits can die on the regular. But, you know, that's just my thoughts on the situation. So now, back to the story. More dog scents are found. Fireheart kind of theorizes, hey, I think a dog is loose, but he doesn't have a lot of time to focus on it. So then Speckletail, who is Snowkit's mother, she tries to train him, like she's trying to teach him how to deal with this. Not sign language, just kind of like, okay, look at this, look at how I'm doing stuff, and train. So Fireheart reports that the dog's loose in the forest. Bluestar says, wait, a dog is loose in the forest? Oh, Firestar, you're such an idiot. It's WindClan who's loose on the forest. And Fireheart's kind of like, what are you talking about? So Bluestar sees that WindClan is hunting on their territory instead of a dog, and decides, we need to show them up and hunt them down, and wants to take some of their prey. Suddenly, for no reason whatsoever, a hawk swoops down, gets Snowkit, and flies away, presumably killing him. Bluestar declares this is a sign from StarClan, saying that, hey, StarClan is at war with us because they killed a child. Okay, girl. We also find out in this scene, like, it was said in the last book, in the previous two books as well, but this is like the most explicit scene where Cloudpaw is an atheist. He's like, nah, the warrior ancestors, give me a break. And, you know, that's fair. Fireheart also tells the rest of ThunderClan saying, hey, a dog is loose in ThunderClan, just be aware. Speckletail, who is Snowkit's mother, in her grief, decides to join the Elder Den. Part of the reason that she was so invested in having Snowkit be a warrior is because this was her last litter. Like, it said in the book that this was her last litter. I mean, she would never have any more kits, and this was her only child from that litter. So the idea of him not being a warrior and later dying is devastating for her, and you really feel for her. This is a really heartbreaking scene. But, yeah. So, Fireheart is then worried what Bluestar might do at the upcoming gathering because, guess what? It's gathering time. Oh no. So, interesting about this gathering, Blue Star insists on going. She didn't go the last one, but she insists on going with this one. And she does not consult Fireheart. She doesn't tell him, hey, this is my plan, this is what I want to do. She just doesn't tell him. And he's a little concerned, which is fair, considering everything. One Whisker, at the gathering, introduces his apprentice, Gorsepaw, who is the kid that Fireheart saved back in Book 2. I don't think I mentioned it in Book 2, but during the whole WindClan debacle, he saved a small kid, which was this apprentice, so he has a bit of emotional connection with him. We also find out that Crooked Star is dead. Like, the gathering starts, Crooked Star is dead, Leopard Star is now leader. We also find out that Stonefur, aka Blue Star's son, is now the deputy. And also Graystripe has come to the gathering. This is the first time Graystripe has been allowed to come to a gathering. Like, every single time before this, when he was a RiverClan cat, he was never allowed to go to the gathering. But this time, he is, which is odd. We also find out via Graystripe that Leopard Star intends to take back Sunning Rocks, which, you know, bit of cross-collaboration. Ooh, bit scary. So then, Blue Star says, hey, WindClan, you're stealing our prey. And WindClan's kind of confused. And then Blue Star just kind of loses it. You know, she just openly states her opinions on StarClan. Like, she says, StarClan is wrong, they're stupid, and I hate them. And all the other clans are like, what? Like, they're shocked. They're absolutely shocked about her kind of admissions to everything. And Leopard Star then kind of obliquely, like, says, hey, we might take back some of our, like, territory from, like, you know, helping you with the fire. And then Blue Star just completely misses it. She just does not catch the subtle hint that Leopard Star wants the Sunning Rocks back. And when I say subtle hint, she basically says, hey, we're taking them back. And Blue Star's like, whatever. Yeah, it's just kind of weird. So then, after the gathering, when everyone's, like, mingling and leaving, Darkstripe briefly talks to Tigerstar about his kits, saying, hey, yeah, they're fine, and there's a bit of colluding there. We don't really know what happens. So after all this, Blue Star says to Fireheart, hey, Fireheart, I want to beat up WindClan. Like, she immediately wants to go attack WindClan after their apparent admission of guilt during the gathering. If you can't tell, the Blue Star is just completely lost at this point. This is the biggest sign. So Fireheart's kind of abrasive to the whole situation. He doesn't really want to do it. And then he has a dream from Spotted Leaf and Yellowfang. Yellowfang has never been in a dream before. Both of them tell him, hey, this battle must not happen. Which he knew already. Okay. So he then decides, okay, I need to warn RiverClan. Like, not RiverClan. I need to go to WindClan. I need to talk to them about trying to avoid this battle. But when he tries to leave, he discovers that Darkstripe and has taken Bramblekit and Tawnykit to go meet Tigerstar. He's taken two little children to go meet their father. Before Tigerstar can talk about his path, like, he says, oh, I love you, my kits. And they're asking him, hey, father, why did you get kicked out of the ThunderClan? And he's like, oh, Darkstripe, you didn't tell them? Let me tell you my past. And before he can talk about his past, Fireheart interrupts. And they're dumbfounded. Like, they did not expect this to happen. Like, their expressions are hilarious. And there's a bit of a standoff, and then Fireheart says, alright, kids, come back to ThunderClan, and he leads them back home. It's an interesting scene. So then, once again, he tries to sneak away to WindClan, and he and One Whisker talk to Tallstar. Fireheart wants a meeting to discuss things. He wants to avoid a battle at all costs. And, you know, that's the thing. However, Tallstar's like, but Blue Star won't listen to WindClan, so how do we deal with this? And then he's like, wait, remember in Book 2 when we stayed at that cool cat's house, Ravenpaw, and send him to deliver the message of peace because he's welcome in ThunderClan. And Tallstar's like, that. And so everything's solved. So Fireheart then returns to ThunderClan, and he then speaks to Whitestorm, saying, hey, this is what I've been up to, this is what I plan. Whitestorm's like, dude, that's a good plan. It was stupid of you to do the plan, but it is a good plan. Like, his whole thing is, I get you're a deputy, and I get you want to protect the clans. This is not the best way to do it, even if you disagree with your leader. He's kind of in the middle of it all. Like, he wants to protect ThunderClan, but he also thinks that he should listen to Bluestar. But at the end, he does side with Fireheart, saying this was the correct decision. I hope you know what you're doing. This is probably going to have consequences. So yeah. So then, Fireheart then has a secret meeting with all the ThunderClan warriors. Just the warriors. No one else. No apprentices. No medicine cats. Just the warriors. And he tells them their entire plan. Basically, they all are very unsure about it. Like, they all agree, this is the right decision. This is the correct decision. We should do this. But at the same time, going against their leader like this, they're very much like, Darkstripe's obviously very against it, because he's a bitch. But yeah, so after all that secret meeting, which they're all on board, he tells Cinderpelt she's unsure, but it's like, okay, we'll go along with it. Ravenpaw then arrives and says, hey, Bluestar, Tallstar wants to speak. And Bluestar agrees. They have a conversation at Four Trees, and ultimately they decide, okay, ThunderClan will not attack WindClan. For now. They won't ever. So when they get home, Bluestar says, hey, Fireheart, I need to speak with you. And he immediately finds out, like, she says, I know what you've done. She knows everything that Fireheart's done. Like, she didn't hear. No one told her. She just figured it out. Like, she's a leader. She's going to figure this stuff out eventually. She's very smart like that. And she just completely loses it. She blasts StarClan for existing, fair, and blasts Fireheart for what's occurred. She laments about her choices regarding her kits, declares all of ThunderClan traitors because they did this, and chooses to punish Fireheart by doing nothing. She says that your punishment will be nothing. You will be my deputy, a deputy that is a traitor. Which, you know, pretty powerful. Pretty interesting. So then, after all this, all of the mentors talk to Fireheart saying, hey, our apprentices need to be warriors. They are warrior age. They deserve to be warriors. And Fireheart's like, yeah, I know. What do you want me to do? So then after all this, Bluestar is missing. She's gone. No one really knows where she is. The clan is freaking out. And then, you know, they're just like, where did Bluestar go? She's not in the correct state to do this. So then Bluestar just kind of reappears and says, hey, I went to the Moonstone to talk to StarClan after everything that happened. I yelled at them. Because they're stupid. They didn't listen to me. They said, hey, a pack will cause the most destruction the forest has ever seen. She's kind of unsure what it means. Fireheart freaks out because he's heard this pact kind of before in his dream. Bluestar is very apathetic. She's like, I've given up. I don't care anymore. Fireheart and then Cinderpelt then lead, like, they kind of have a conversation with this pack of, like, what's going on? What's the future going to be like? Who knows? And Bluestar decides, hey, I'm going to lead a patrol to go, you know, do patrol things. Like, she's still a leader. She wants to be useful, I guess. It's kind of unclear why she does this to do this. And they discover something. So, surprise, surprise, RiverClan has attempted to retake Sunning Rocks. Bluestar doesn't agree to them retaking it. Like, she says, yeah, you helped us during a fire, but I don't agree with this. We're going to fight now. So fighting ensues. Graystripe shows... So the fighting ensues. It's not very exciting. Graystripe is there because he was put on the patrol because Leopardstar is a bitch. I don't care them calling her that much times. She is. So then Graystripe says, hey, come with me. And we see that Mistyfoot and Stonefur have cornered Bluestar. Like, they cornered her and they're about to attack. And it's a horrifying scene. So Fireheart, in order to protect Bluestar, leaps down and says, hey, don't attack Bluestar, she's your mother. Stonefur and Mistyfoot are very shocked. Stonefur doesn't believe it, but Mistyfoot does, because everything that she knows of Fireheart, that he doesn't lie, which is kind of, you know, scary. Like, the fact that he doesn't lie is shocking to her, because this means that this cat is her mother. So then after all this, Leopardstar then appears, the other cats escape, and, you know, she's about to try to attack Fireheart, try to kill him. Graystripe defends him, and, you know, Leopardstar says, hey, attack Fireheart. He is the enemy, you need to defeat him. And Graystripe says, no. And she's like, you mother... ThunderClan... At this point, ThunderClan reinforcements arrive to help win the day. Blue Star's kits, even though they kind of believe that she is their mother, she just is apprehensive to her. They don't really want to talk to her. Leopard Star then disowns Gray Stripe, saying, "You were not allowed back in RiverClan." Sunning Rocks is won? Like, they won the day, they won the piece of territory, but everything was lost. Blue Star is just completely broken. Like, her kits have actively rejected her. Gray Stripe is broken because he has forced to leave the clan that his kits are in, meaning he can never see them again. And, everything just sucks. So even if they won the day, did they really? Blue Star then allows Gray Stripe to return to ThunderClan because all of ThunderClan are traitors, might as well let another one come home. So ThunderClan is kind of against Gray Stripe returning. They're like, I don't want we don't really want Gray Stripe here, but like, they can't really do anything. Like, at this point, what can they do? So then Blue Star says, okay, I want Cloudpaw to become a warrior because he is an atheist. Yes, really. The whole reason that she literally allows Cloudpaw to become a warrior is because he's the only atheist in the group. Which is kind of funny. Like, yeah, okay. So then Cloudpaw becomes Cloudtail. Even though he is by far one of the younger apprentices out of the group, he still is made a warrior before all of them. Like Thornpaw, Brightpaw, Swiftpaw, all still, apprentices aged at this point. So then Fernpaw and Dustpelt, they tell Fireheart that Swiftpaw is very, very angry about being rejected as a warrior because he is the oldest apprentice. He's way older than Cloudpaw. So he's like, okay, I need to prove myself. And if I prove myself, Blue Star will be forced to make me a warrior. So he and Brightpaw decide to go prove themselves. Like, they want to find these dogs that have been talked about. So when they go to find them, they go out to find them, and they find at Snake Rocks something horrible. Swiftpaw is dead. He has been ripped apart. He is a bloody, bloody mess. Brightpaw is still alive, but barely. Part of her face is just torn off. Like, you see her raw, pulsating, bloody skin, her ears a bit torn, and she is just traumatized. She just speaks 4 words. Pack, kill, kill. She's just destroyed. So Cinderpelt attempts to heal. Brightpaw says that this wound might cause her never to become a warrior. But after all this, Cloudpaw is caring for Brightheart, like he cares for her well-being. Blue Star then comes and says, I think she's gonna die. Cloudtail says she's gonna die not being a warrior, which is sad. And Blue Star says, well, I can make her a warrior if she does die, that she can become a warrior to, StarClan. And Cloudtail says, do it. And Blue Star says, I name you Lostface. So Brightpaw becomes Lostface. Cloudtail immediately calls it cruel and unusual, and Blue Star says, meh, whatever. So this is the part where I talk about Lostface. Lostface. It's a cruel name. Here's the thing. We know it's a cruel name. Everyone in the fandom agrees that this is a cruel name. It should not have been done. The name in universe is also acknowledged as the cruel name, a name that should not have been used. So, again, the reason Blue Star did it is that this ritual to give a dying apprentice, a warrior's name, so they go to StarClan as a warrior. I get why she did it, and she's still very against StarClan. Like, she's not in a good mental health space. Like, her mental health is broken. She is shattered. It is a wonder she is still alive. So, it is partially to blame Blue Star. Like, she is at fault for this. At the same time, I get why she's not in the most healthy mind space. But, Lostface, it's a cruel name, shouldn't have happened, but I get why Blue Star, and that whole thing happened. So then we have Lostface then speaks the words, pack, kill, kill. Blue Star freaks out because she's like, wait, this pack, that's what StarClan spoke about. And we also find out that, Cloudtail loves Lostface, like, this is the first moment that we've ever seen them happening. Like, they've been cutesy, kind of. There's been some minimal scenes, but this is the first time where, like, we actively see that they're kind of in love, or at least he's in love with her. She's not in a good state to do loving at the moment. So then Fireheart says, hey, the kits should be apprenticed, Tawnypaw and Bramblepaw. Bluestar says, okay, that's fair. Tawnypaw is apprenticed to Brackenfur because, one, he didn't get Snowkit because he died, but also he doesn't want Sandstorm to have Tawnypaw because he thinks that that'll make her a target. And then Fireheart takes Bramblepaw. He takes Bramblepaw as his apprentice. And, you know, Sandstorm isn't happy about this, but I get why Fireheart did it. He's still kind of stupid. He always kind of stupid. So then they take the apprentices on a patrol. Like, they say, hey, let's go on a patrol. And when they're on a patrol, they say, hey, we want to see our father. We want to see Tigerstar. So then Fireheart finally, after like 2 books, finally sits them down and tells them about Tigerstar's past. Everything. Tawnypaw, all things considered, takes it rather well. Bramblepaw doesn't. He points out that Fireheart's judgment of him, like his looks and feelings toward Bramblepaw because he looks so much like his father, is unjustified and he's rude, which is fair. Fireheart did all those things to Bramblepaw, so, you know, not wrong. So then Fireheart obviously worries for Lostface once. So Lostface is recovering at this point, and he's kind of like, hey, listen, I need you, Speckletail, who's in the Eldergem, can you take care of Lostface? And Speckletail was like, what do you think I am? Of course I'll take care of her. This is also kind of a, like, secret mentality for the 2 cats to take care of each other, because Speckletail is still mourning over Snowkit, and Lostface just needs a friend. And after all this time, Cloudtail says, hey, I'll train Lostface. I'll train her to become a proper warrior so she can get a proper name. Cute. Lovely. Gathering time. Yay! So, Tigerstar and Leopardstar are very uncharacteristically friendly, which, you know, bit unnerving. We also find out that Graystripe's kits, Stormpaw and Featherpaw, are meant or apprenticed to in Mistyfoot and Stonefur, which, you know, is, you know, very nice. Nice, you know, good mentors. RiverClan is there, and they're like, yeah, we're really not surprised that Graystripe went back to ThunderClan. Like, it's fair. We'll take care of his kits, and we'll keep them updated. They can still be chill. Speaking of kits, Tigerstar wants his kits back. Uh-oh. Yeah, he's like, hey, I want my kids back. Which is funny, because never in the last book did he ever really show him caring for his kits. It's only in this book that he ever mentions the fact he wants his kits. And it's so bizarre. Like, there's never a reason why he just wants his kits other than the fact that he just wants them. Especially considering the fact that their mother is in the clan. It's so stupid. It's dumb. We also find out that Tigerstar knows about Snowkit, Swiftpaw, and Lostface. And Fireheart's like, oh, Darkstripe leaked it to him, which he did. So, yeah, it's a whole mess. Bluestar then says, okay, Tigerstar, I'll tell you my decision at the next gathering. That's that. So then Fireheart, Graystripe, Cloudtail, and Lostface go to meet Princess. It goes about well as you expect. Princess, you can't really blame her for all that. It's fine. Lostface then sees her face, and she does. She's unnerved, but she takes it a bit better than you think. Cloudtail, yeah, you know. So then Longtail tells Fireheart he sent a Tigerstar near Snake Rocks. Fireheart doesn't believe him. Like, he's very much like, hey, I don't like you. I knew you were a friend of Tigerstar, and he brushes him off. Cinderpelt says, hey, you're stupid. Listen to Longtail. So he listens to Longtail, and he says he sent dogs near Snake Rocks alongside Tigerstar, and then we find out that Tigerstar has been feeding them. He's been feeding the dogs. Darkstripe has also been speaking to Tigerstar about a lot. Like, Longtail says, hey, they've been speaking a lot. I don't really know why he's speaking to them. He never caught their conversations. So yeah, there's that. Fireheart then confesses his love for Sandstorm again. Finally. about time. So then Patrol says, we need to go investigate Snake Rocks. So they come around some rabbit remains, and they find ShadowClan's scent. So then, during the scent, they find out that Tigerstar is attempting to create a trail of rabbit bones to the ThunderClan camp. And Tigerstar wants the dogs to go there, but they're like, why would the dogs go there? They need the scent of cats in order to go there. Well, he's killed a cat. So Tigerstar has killed Brindleface, aka Cloudtail's adoptive mother, and he's devastated because he's on the patrol. She kills him in order to give the dogs a scent for cats, because they do nibble a little bit. So then Fireheart then tells ThunderClan camp to evacuate. Says, hey, get out of here, go to Sunning Rocks. And then Fireheart says, okay, we're going to steal the trail and divert it towards the gorge so the dogs run off it. Honestly, not a bad plan. Like, they're going to steal the prey and run them off the gorge. That's a nice one. So Darkstripe attempts to take Tigerstar's kits away, because it's kind of implied that he knows what's happening to some degree. I don't know how much he knows. Probably knows the whole plan. He gets chewed out about the whole conversation, and he ultimately goes to the Sunning Rocks, so that's not really a problem. Fireheart tells Bluestar the plan. She is dejected. She's like, I don't care, but sure, I'll go with the clan to Sunning Rocks. I'll keep them safe. So there's that. So some of the clan enacts the plan. Like, they divert the trail, they run the dogs towards the gorge. So they chase the cats, and then Fireheart is then, the one who's leading the dogs. So when he's starting to lead them to the gorge, he's stopped by Tigerstar, who's, observing the whole thing. They have a bit of a scuffle. Tigerstar then flees from the incoming dogs, he climbs a tree, and then Fireheart has to run them towards the gorge. He's overwhelmed with the gorge, but Bluestar saves him. She tackles the leader and sends him over the edge, and all the other dogs follow the leader to their death. So, however, because she attacked him, she's caught on him and falls into the gorge, and they all die. So Fireheart then attempts to save Bluestar, but struggles. Mistyfoot and Stonefur then appear and help them. Tigerstar then attempts to finish the job, but is halted by Graystripe. Graystripe kind of barrels in and helps Fireheart drive him away. Bluestar then asks for her kits to forgive her, and they do. They say, we forgive you for your choices. And Tigerstar sees the whole exchange. He figures out what is happening. And Bluestar then begins to die. Her faith in StarClan is restored, and she's like, I saw ThunderClan carry themselves to Sunning Rocks. They were a true clan. They believed in StarClan, and my faith has been restored. And then Bluestar then tells Fireheart he'll be a great leader, and she's happy that she brought him to the clan, and she passes away. Bluestar has died. Tigerstar then runs away, as he does, and that's gonna be a problem. Mistyfoot and Stonefur then say, hey, we'll help with Bluestar's body. And Fireheart then realizes, oh, I'm ThunderClan's leader now. Uh-oh. And then the book ends. Yeah, that's how the book ends. Dang, that was an ending. Interestingly, I have this written here, it doesn't set up a lot for the next book. The only major thing it sets up is that Tigerstar is still going to be a problem, and that the secret of Bluestar's kits is going to be something. Other than that, not a lot of what's going to happen in the last book, which is very strange. Granted, book 5 wasn't set up a lot, but there was a lot that was answered. So many threads were ended, but there's not really a lot to happen. So there were a lot of obvious events that did happen, like Graystripe returning, and that was going to happen. Bluestar probably was going to die. Her mental health was just off the rails at this point, so not really that much of a surprise. And like I said in the previous video, Bluestar really loses it in this book. She goes completely mental, and I am going to do a video at some point breaking down her mental state. I'm going to do research, figure out what her mental state is, and how accurately it was portrayed. I think it's well written. I think for what they were intending to do, both a kind of mental health crisis as well as a general crisis of faith, belief system, that was written well as far as not being specific. But overall, I liked the sort of like gradual background elements of the dogs. Like, it was introduced very early on, it's slowly built up, slowly in the background, until boom, it's the big threat. Also, Longtail, good character. He like redeems himself. Like, he was always a like staunch Tigerstar ally, and now he's sort of not anymore. Like, he's a nice character. Not gonna talk Fernpot and Dustpelt because no. Fireheart and Sandstorm has a nice relationship. It's realistic in the sense that they don't always agree with each other. Like, they have disagreements, and yet they still love each other. Like, you can still love who you love, whilst not always having the same ideological agreements. Like, obviously you have some, but not all. That's fair. Cloudtail and Lostface are cute. More on them in the next book. Overall, really nice. The one complaint that I have about the dogs is the end. Like, the dogs being an actual threat is only like the last 30 pages, and out of those 30 pages, it's only like the first 20, because like the whole Blue Star death thing has to happen. I feel like the rampage should have happened a bit earlier. Like, the last 50 pages should have been devoted to that instead of the last 30. And trust me, I counted. It's the last 30. So, I also feel like one chapter at least should have been devoted to a chase scene. Because that doesn't happen. Like, with the dogs, like, we get introduced to the threat, Cat dies, they do the planning, they have a small chase scene, then big fight, small chase scene, and then they go over the edge of the gorge. There's not a single chapter that's devoted to, like, Fireheart, like, running and, like, freaking out. Which, you know, minimal dialogue, nothing like it. Like, even if it was a 5-page chapter, none of that. It's just fight. But, you know. Tigerstar was kind of unnecessary in this book because he does nothing. Like, Tigerstar did not need to be in this book. It could have been completely devoted just him doing background stuff and him doing big stuff in the next book, because he does do some big stuff in the next book. But yeah, the only thing he's required for narratively is to discover Mistyfoot and Stonefur's identity. He only needs to discover that to use his leverage. He doesn't need to fight Fireheart. And I say fight in quotations because it's not really a fight. It's mainly they run into each other a couple times and then he runs away. But overall, it's a great book. It leaves the finale very open-ended. Like, there's only a couple threads, as I said earlier, that need to be, you know, finished off. And overall, it's a good book. Very interested to see how the finale wraps it all up. So that was book 5, The Prophecy Begins. What was it again? Hold on. A Dangerous Path, that's what it was. A Dangerous Path. What did you think? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Or did you think it was just okay? Let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day. Bye.